Slamcast. 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 Welcome. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Slamcast. I'm your host, Greg. Let's get right into it, shall we? So how y'all doing today? How y'all been this week? You been good? Been having fun? Hope y'all had a fun weekend. I had a fun weekend. For those of you that may have forgotten, or just for a little update, it was my birthday this last Monday, May the 30th, and my sister got married the weekend before, so I didn't celebrate my birthday that weekend. So instead, I ended up celebrating my birthday this weekend. And it was awesome. It was a very fun celebration. Before I get into anything further, excuse me. I feel like I got something in my throat, but I think I'm fine. Just before I get into anything, quick shout out to Robbie, Rob, Drew, Eric, Jeff, Scar, Rogers, Derek, Matt, and Paul. I believe that's everyone. I really hope I'm not missing anybody right now. I should have made a list of this. But yeah, those were all the guys who came out with me on my birthday and helped celebrate my birthday with me. So shout out to all those homies. You'll be hearing more about them later into the podcast. That's basically all I'm going to be talking about this week. The last episode went up so late into the week that I don't have much else to talk about. But that's not a bad thing, is it? I'm sure I'll be talking about it for way longer than I should be. And I remember there was something else I wanted to add from last week, but I've completely forgotten at this point. I should have written it down. But that doesn't matter. So I figured I'll just give you guys a rundown of what my night was like yesterday. Hurting a little bit this morning, but I'm okay now. Very tired. Only got about, I want to say, 5-ish hours of sleep. Yeah, I'll explain that. I'll explain that in a minute. So, I wanted to change things up this birthday. Every birthday I go to, or not every birthday I go to, every birthday I make for myself, every birthday party I make for myself, I always have it, either have it at a bar in town or I go downtown Toronto. And I think I've finally found a perfect middle ground to either of those. Because the problem with going downtown is the commute there and back is just so long and tedious and so much effort. It's just takes the fun out of the night. And because of that, I feel like there are a lot less people who feel inclined to or want to attend the party because of just the long ass commute and having to figure out how you're going to get down to whatever club or party center that you're hosting your little shindig at. And then just hometown bars are just so boring and they don't have anything there. The one in my hometown is basically just has like not one, but all it has is pool tables. And not to say pool tables aren't fun. Pool tables are awesome. But when that's the only thing at the bar, everybody's using it, so you only get like one decent game in, and that's basically it. And once you go there a few years, you're kind of just like, I'm kind of done with this place. I don't want to see this place anymore. At least for my birthday. So I found this perfect middle ground, referred to as East Beaver Creek, which isn't too far from my house, and isn't downtown either. And it's got a whole lot of bars in its area. So I actually, one thing I did was the Friday, the day before the party, after work, I actually drove to East Beaver Creek and drove around the whole plaza and wrote down all the bars or restaurant type areas that me and my buddies could go drinking, because I tried Googling the area to try and figure out what bars were there, and Google just wasn't that helpful. It only gave me like 3 or 4 bars, and I went there and I legitimately made a list on my phone, and my phone now has a note on it that has like, I want to say like a dozen bars on it. So I figured me and my buddies and whoever wanted to attend, we could all go bar hopping there, which I've never really done. I've always kind of wanted to do it, and I'm glad I finally went through with it, because bar hopping is pretty fun, especially when it's not fully planned bar hopping. I feel like that was also the best part about it. I wasn't forcing people to get out. I wasn't rushing people to finish their drinks so we could like move on to the next bar or something. It's very sort of fluid, very dynamic experience, and I think that was part of the reason why the night was so awesome. So after I wrote down that list, I went home and actually Googled all these places individually and found out when they closed on Saturday. Turns out they all closed at roughly all of them closed at around 2 a.m., which is pretty awesome. Not what I was expecting, but I really should have. But regardless. So Saturday rolls around. I got all this stuff set up. A couple of my buddies from Guelph show up early because I kind of wanted them to, so we could all go together. And then people who were in town could meet us there. So us being the meme experts and the computer scientists nerds that we are, we ended up spending, of the few hours that we hung out before we went out drinking, we basically spent those just swapping funny YouTube videos on my TV. That kind of mentality that you get into with friends, where everybody's just like, oh, I want to put up my video now. Oh, I want to put up my video now, to a point where I think we had like 100, because of one of my buddies, Drew, we had like 100 videos in a single queue, and we didn't even go through anywhere close to all of them. It was hilarious. We were kind of just laughing and drinking, and like, I was kind of contemplating being like, maybe I should just call this whole thing off and we'll all just drink here and I'll just drink here and watch stupid videos. Glad I didn't. And the only reason I thought that is because the last few years I've held birthday parties. Not many people attend. Not trying to shit on anybody. Not trying to call anybody out specifically or anything. But I don't know. It's just kind of weird. In high school and elementary school, your birthday is in like, I think that's part of the reason is my birthday's May 30th. So in high school and elementary school, everybody is in school when and if you throw your own birthday party. So people are like around and stuff. And then with university, technically May 30th is like summer break for university students. So people are either going away or they have ridiculous jobs with ridiculous hours that they can't work around. Just any of that stuff. And it's also gotten to a point now where like some of my friends just don't even live in the area anymore. Like, and they have full-time jobs now because they've graduated. So it's just a whole new sort of thing. I can't even think of the word right now. Just this whole new thing that I'm not really used to or accustomed to yet, even though it's been quite a few years of this. But yeah, that was just kind of a side tangent. So we finally decided to leave. We left half hour later than I planned on it because of how much fun we were having just dicking around and looking at shitty videos on YouTube. So we left, ended up at a restaurant called Three Brewers, which they actually brew their own beer in-house, and they have a variety of beers. So me and my golf buddies show up. Matt and Paul are already sitting there waiting for us, and they have a table and everything, and they already got me a pint, which I appreciate. And then we realized there was already a crap ton of us. At this point, there was already, I want to say 7 or 8 of us already, and we were crammed into one single booth. And then one of the waitresses came up and she was like, do you guys want to move to a bigger table? And we were like, F yeah, sure. And they brought us to this sick round table that actually had like a spinning surface in the middle of it, I guess, so you could get like a whole bunch of different pitchers or something and kind of just mix and match sort of with your pint glass. I don't know, I have no idea. Something like that, I'm sure. But it was awesome, and we're all trying different fancy beers. And my honest plan was, I figured Three Brewers was going to be, because it's referred to as a restaurant and a microbrewery, so I figured, the beers here are going to be cool, but they're also going to be like probably pretty expensive, so we can start here and then move to like a cheaper pub area after a few hours. So like I don't want all my buddies blowing the bank on me. I'm not worth it. I'm not that worth it. I'm pretty worth it, but I'm not that worth it. Anyways, but then when we got there and I was looking at the menu, and all of their in-house beers, at least, were fairly average priced for like a normal pints and normal pitchers, which was pretty awesome. And I think partly the reason is because they brew their own stuff in-house. I don't think any of us actually ordered anything that was like not in-house. Actually, I should have checked that on the menu. I didn't even bother to check that on the menu. But I had their blonde and their amber, and both of those were fairly good brews, if I do say so myself. So the night started. I don't want to say kind of slow, but it was sort of just small talk, hanging out, drinking. But then the longer we stayed at Three Brewers, the more we started getting more lively and whatnot, and getting more amped up. And we're actually planning on leaving the Three Brewers sooner, but then Rogers and Scar showed up, and they wanted to have a few drinks there, so we stayed there, which got us going more. And then finally, a few of the guys wanted to go. I won't name names, but a few of the guys wanted to check out the pub called the Tilted Kilt. I was in the area. And I kind of want to check it out too, because honestly, it seemed like a pretty fun establishment, and I'd never been there. Turns out it's just kind of like a sports bar restaurant type deal. But I mean, with a name like that, I kind of didn't want to throw away the opportunity, and I figured that would be like a kind of good bar to go to for just cheap drinks and booze and good time and stuff. But some of the guys wanted to go mainly because, the waitresses got skirts, bro, and they're hot waitresses, bro. Which I'm not against that. I'm fine with that. So finally, we finished up at Three Brewers and moved to the Tilted Kilt. I don't know what time it was. I want to say it was 11. No, I think it was actually 12 when we got to Tilted Kilt. We got to Three Brewers at around 9:30, and I think we stayed. I guess we did stay there till 12. That was mainly because there was, after Scar and Rogers showed up, we stayed there for quite a while longer, even though we were like just about to leave. I'm not complaining. It was fun either way. So we showed up at Tilted Kilt, and we were kind of standing there waiting for a waitress to take us to a table. But we kind of noticed the bar, like the bar stool type sitting area, was like almost entirely empty. So we all kind of thought, screw it, and we all went and just all sat at the bar, just a line of us, like the 9 of us or however many of us there were. We all just lined up, and the chick who was behind the bar was like, I can get you a table. And we were like, no, we're fine. We're fine exactly where we are, exactly where we want to be, is basically what we told her. We ended up chatting up this bartender. That's the word I was looking for. quite a bit and kind of got buddy with her. Her name was Stephanie, and apparently she was the manager of the Tilted Kilt, which was pretty cool. Not what we were expecting. I don't think you ever expect anybody to just suddenly be like, oh yeah, I'm also the manager of this place. So that was pretty awesome. We kept getting drinks, and at this point, some of us were getting food, and at this point, some of us were getting a little, the booze was hitting us a little hard, and some of us were getting a little tired or getting a little louder than expected. And then Derek showed up. He drove over, though, so he wasn't drinking, so that was fine. And he didn't drink, so kudos to him. And then it got pretty late into the night, and we were kind of just hollering and hooting and hollering and being crazy and whatnot. And then we were contemplating going to another bar. We didn't know where at this point, but we kind of wanted to go to another bar. But it was around 1 o'clock at this point. But I had a feeling we weren't going to be able to make it to another bar because all the bars closed at 2. And it was taking a damn long time to for everybody to pay off their tabs. So I was like, all right, this might be last call for us. So I was like, I'm getting shots. And oh no, I even missed the best part. The manager, Stephanie, actually surprised me with a birthday shot that I had to drink with only my mouth, which is basically a martini glass filled with whipped cream, and the shot was put on top, and there's whipped cream on top of the shot too. I don't know what it was, the shot. Maybe it was Bailey's. I don't know. It was quite sweet and creamy, but that could have been the whipped cream. Honestly, don't know. And I did it like a champ, and I didn't do it with any hands. It was all teeth and lips, folks. And so yeah, and then a while after that, I was like, we're getting more shots. So the few troopers who could still manage to get some more booze in them, I bought them all shots. Pounded those back, and then we got out of there. But also, quickly, I just want to mention, while we were at the Three Brewers, the guys decided to randomly, and I was aware of this. I saw it slowly start unfolding. But suddenly they all just started singing happy birthday to me out of nowhere. And I had a few people cheers me afterwards. And then when Stephanie at the Tilted Kilt got me that birthday shot, I'm pretty sure everybody sang happy birthday to me. It's funny that I can't remember that. I'm pretty sure they did. I think I was too focused on just trying to... Man, drinking a shot without using your hands is weirdly complicated. I think it's because I didn't use... I don't know. I was just so worried about that shot glass like somehow sliding out of my teeth or lips and just like plunking straight down my throat somehow or something. I'm an idiot like that. Anyways, skip forward. I get the guys those shots. We leave. We realize it's actually 1:45 at this point. So if we're going to go to any bar, there's no point unless we like go there and just like quickly chug back as much booze as we can. And most of the guys, we're all fairly done at this point. However, there was one final stop that we were able to make, and I'm so glad we were able to make it. There is I guess you'd call it a dessert lounge in East Beaver Creek known as Destiny. And it turns out, and I'm glad I Google searched it, turns out Destiny is open until 3 in the morning on Saturdays. So I was like, guys, let's go to Destiny. And we went to Destiny, and we just ordered a bunch of desserts and junk food and milkshake type drinks and stuff, and just pounded those back. It was pretty awesome. And then another great thing that happened was Rogers, out of the blue, I can't remember why. I don't know if he brought this up at the Tilted Kilt. I think he brought it up as we were walking from the Tilted Kilt to Destiny. But there's this sort of thing. I don't even know if it was a challenge or what it even is. But it's just the Running Man. And for those of you that don't know what it is, just I'm sure if you just Google like Running Man video or something, it's essentially you just play the Running Man song and do some weird sort of side step, front step, back step thing. I don't know. It's pretty hilarious. So like 15 minutes into being at Destiny, all of a sudden Rogers was like, yo, you guys want to go outside and do Running Man? So there's a few videos of me and Rogers just attempting. Well, I was attempting. Rogers like had that thing down pat. It seemed as though this guy had been freaking practicing beforehand. But it was just us doing the Running Man. And then later in the night, like we did recordings and stuff. We were all just like giggling and laughing like idiots. Not all of us went, but quite a few of us went outside and did it, which is pretty hilarious. And then later in the night when we were like trying to go home and stuff, we were just still doing it. It was so funny. So funny. Yeah, I need to get those videos from those guys because I didn't film it because I was too busy being a part of it. But, so yeah, we ate our food. And normally at Destiny, their service is pretty bad and it takes forever to get your bills so you can pay and leave. However, one funny thing I noticed about Destiny is if it's close to closing time, they will give you all the attention you want as long as you pay your bill and get the hell out of there. Who would have thunk it? At 3 a.m, who would have thunk? So, since Derek drove and he had his van, the plan for us is that we're all like 9 of us. We're going to cram into his van and he was going to drive us all home because the majority of us were crashing at my place. My golf buddies all were going to crash at my place because I'm not going to make them figure out where the hell they're going to crash for the night. But the problem was, because East Beaver Creek's such a happening spot, is there was like 3 cop cars all just kind of piled up together, just kind of doing their like nightly routine. And they're like basically right next to the van. So we didn't want to risk it. So I ended up getting an Uber for a few of us. Enough of us so that there were a legal amount of people in the van. And, yeah, and then so we Ubered. The Uber was a quiet ride. The guy was super quiet. We didn't really chat him up at all. And then we got home, smoked a few cigars once we got back because I forgot to bring them to East Beaver Creek. And chilled, I want to say, for like 15 minutes. Something like that. And it took quite a while for that Uber to show up. So by the time we all finally went to bed, and like we were pretty exhausted at this point, we had a few close calls with some of the guys, like basically passing out at the bars or at Destiny. But by the time we all finally went to bed, it was like 4 a.m. And you know what my body loves to do when it's hungover? My body loves to wake me up early. So I ended up waking up, I want to say around 9. I was rolling around for a while, but I finally got up and it was around 9. So I was just like, time to face the day. So I kind of just hung out and did whatever. The guys didn't get up until like, I want to say 10:30, 11ish. So we kind of dicked around, played some video games for a bit. And then Rob really wanted to go to this veal sandwich place all the way in Scarborough. Luckily, the highway was fairly open, so it was only like a 20-minute drive from my place. So we ended up doing that, and then from there, Drew had to go home because he needed to get ready for work and stuff. So we all kind of said our goodbyes, hugged it out, and went our separate ways. And yeah, that's how my birthday celebration went. And I want to say it was probably one of the best birthday celebrations I've had in quite a while. And I definitely plan on doing that in the near future. Even if it's not for my birthday. Going to a solid area where there's a lot of bar hopping and it's like not a sketchy area at all and it's got like good places to hang out. It's worth it. Especially if we got good friends. When you got friends like these, who needs places or something? I don't know where I was going with that. We got friends like these, you're always gonna have a good time. How about that? So once again, I want to thank all the guys who came out. I'm pretty sure I named off everybody when I did that call out, but I'll do it again. Robbie, Rob, Eric, Drew, Jeff, Roger, Scar, Matt, Paul, and Derek. Shout out to you boys. Thanks for making me have a lovely birthday celebration. And I'm going to end it on that. 25 minutes of me talking about my birthday. Could the man be any more self-centered? Probably. And I probably am. But, I hope you guys had a good week. I hope you have a good night. Finally, Slamcast is back on schedule. And it shouldn't go out of schedule anytime soon because I don't got anything crazy going on. So, have a good night, everybody. Outro, Greg. Take us away. Well, folks, that's all we have for this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll join us next week for whatever crazy shit we talk about. Until next time, have a good one.